All right. Our next speaker is a 7-year NFL veteran. He is going to speak to us today about overcoming challenge and the winning edge. I believe that's the title of his book. He was drafted in '92 by the LA Rams, which are now the LA Rams, right, Sean? Played for the Colts. And from the locker room to the boardroom, he's been giving and sharing his experiences and his passion, and hopefully can share with us. I want to welcome him to the Peak family. A round of applause for Sean Harper. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Good. How's everyone doing? Good. It's not good enough. Is my mic on? Oh, it is. Good. One more time. Listen, I'm 6'4". I'm about 330 pounds on paper. Probably a little more than that, okay? So I'm going to ask you how you're doing one more time, and if I don't get a little bit more enthusiasm, I promise I will come out and sit on you, okay? And I know the worker comp laws in Ohio, okay? I'm a business owner, so listen, we'll be fine. One more time. How's everyone doing? Good. Awesome. Well, like he said, my name is Sean Harper, 7-year professional football player with the Rams, with the Colts. I played with Houston for a short stint, overseas in NFL Europe. Man, I blocked for some great running backs and quarterbacks, guys like Cleveland Gary, Jerome Bettis, Marshall Faulk, Trenton Green, both played left guard and left tackle. Before I go any further, I don't want you to typecast me as a motivational speaker. I'm more like an investor. And I love to invest, believe it or not. I love stocks, bonds, mutual funds. I trade. I used to be up 3, 4 o'clock in the morning looking at the futures and watching the gold and all that stuff. But you know what? The greatest investment is people. Because when you invest in people, it has the potential of reaping generations of dividends. And that's what it's all about. When it's all said and done, it's planting seeds, knowing that you'll never eat of its fruit. That is what it's about. Each and every one of you are in this room because most likely somebody poured into you, and now it's your turn. Playing in the NFL, though, it's fun. You make a lot of money. But it's a dark side to the game no one talks about. And for a few moments, I'm going to breach fraternal secrets. And I'm going to share with you a concern of just about every NFL athlete, along with making the roster, is that us egotistical athletes, we don't like to be embarrassed, okay? We don't like to look bad on film. However, the NFL owns a subsidiary called NFL Films. In NFL Films, they film every single practice, every single meeting. They'll film you coming to work, which is practice, going home from work. They've been known to peek in the windows and film, and whatever they capture, instantly comes the property of NFL Films. They have one of the largest vaults of practice and films in the world, probably next to Disney. NFL Films is sitting right there. And so we want to make it through our career with not a lot of embarrassing moments because we don't want our son, and my son did it to me like, Dad, is that you getting pancaked over there? It happened to me. Second year playing for the Colts. Before the game, my offensive line coach comes up to me and says, son, whatever you do, you have to have a good game. And it's the way he said that, kind of a twinkle in his eye, like, Coach, what's going on? He said, listen, I said, Coach, what's going on? He said, listen, they brought another offensive lineman in to take your spot. See, in the NFL, you have to make the team every single week. And if you don't believe me, walk about here today, go to a national newspaper, go into the back, you'll see a little area section called transactions. They call it transactions. And you'll see players being bartered and traded 24 hours a day. It is extremely competitive, 30-plus owners all around the United States, soon to be worldwide, and they have every city on lockdown. Every play, every snap, every call is worth millions of dollars. You have not seen behavioral psychologists until you've seen an NFL scout. An NFL scout can watch the way you walk in a room and tell you how long you're going to be in the NFL. Their job is based off of understanding people. Side note, ADD moment. Understanding people is the secret to the entire game. How to win friends and influence people has changed my entire life. One day I'll talk to you about communication. That's the secret. But back to this story, right? I'm like, man, I have to make the team. This is not right, man. I had a great preseason. I said, by the way, coach, I'm playing right tackle. You moved me to right guard right before the game. I should have known something was up there. I said, who do I have to destroy now? Who do I have to destroy so you'll know I'm the man for the job? Coach gets real quiet, real quiet. He says, son, go look at the depth chart. Now, the depth chart in the NFL has a listing of all the players and what college they went to and their stats, and they're all wrong, right? And so I go over to the depth chart, and I scroll all the way down. I get to the last name on the list. This guy is 6'5", 350-plus pounds. And I'm like, I got to block Big Daddy? The locker room goes dead silent, and they all look at me. And all you hear is, Sean got to block Big Daddy. Sean got to block Big Daddy. Sean got to block Big Daddy. There was teammates to the left, teammates to the right. No one's saying a word. Everyone's mouth is open. I begin to walk back to my locker. I promise you, all I heard was, wah, wah, wah. Now, in the NFL, you can't show fear. I'm like, man, I ain't scared of Big Daddy. Big Daddy needs to be scared of me. But deep inside, I'm like, I got to block Big Daddy. And this is really bad, okay? Because Indianapolis Colts versus the Cincinnati Bengals. I live in Columbus, Ohio. I have my whole family's coming down. Big Daddy's the first pick in the draft from Ohio State University, number 99. I'm not going to mention his name, Wilkerson, okay? So I'm like, man, I got to block Big. It's not right. You know what? It's going to be okay. Second quarter of the game. My offensive line coach says, son, you ready? I said, coach, I'm ready. He gets on the headsets to talk to the coordinators, right? We're going to send in Harper. Yeah, send in Harper. Now, I mentioned that the game is in Cincinnati. I live in Columbus. So before the game, I called my mama. I said, Mama, how many tickets would you like for the game? She said, hold on, baby. I'll call you back. She called back 15 minutes later. Baby, I need 114 tickets. Aunts, uncles, nieces, my pet dog Rover, they all had tickets to the game, right? And so I'm jogging out there, right? And I have all the people in the stadium. I hear my mama scream like, that's my baby. I'm like, hey, Ma, how you doing? Right. Hey, teammate, how you doing, teammate? All right. First play is 26 dive. Now, for all you football novices, let me help you out. Whether it's All-Pro or Pop Warner, every single team. Even numbers are always on the right side. Odd numbers are always on the left side. Let me give you a side note. All the plays of all the teams, they're about 80% the same. You see, the NFL is a big business. That's why you could take a player from one team and move him to the next team, and within 1 week, he knows the entire system because all the plays are the same. Right? Got it. I said, man. So 26 dives. So I'm jogging to the line of scrimmage, right? And the closer I get to the line of scrimmage, I begin to hear this sound like, Big Daddy is sucking up all the available oxygen, right? So I jump down at my three-point stance. He's right in front of me. My quarterback is like, blue 75, blue 75, perfect drop step, boom, got a hold of Big Daddy, and I pushed him back about 2 or 3 inches. And then Marshall comes to the hole, wham, 7 yards on the play. ISO play, Zach Crockett's leading, Marshall's right behind him. Yes, 7 yards. Man, I'm fired up. Man, I'm high-fiving Marshall. I turn, Big Daddy's getting up off the ground. I walk over, I look at him. I said, you know what? It's going to be like this all day, player. Me hitting you and you hitting the ground. Why did I say that? Next play is play action pass. That's when you fake the run and you're going to throw a pass, right? And so I'm jogging to the line of scrimmage again, and Big Daddy, he's really fired up, like, I'm like, man, shut up. You got asthma, big boy? What's wrong with you? Come on, man, let's go. Man, I jumped down, man, through the quarterback, blue 75, blue, hot, perfect drop step, boom, got a hold of Big Daddy, and I locked him out about a half second. And then Big Daddy begins to hit me. And my elbows collapse, my knees lock out. Ladies and gentlemen, my feet begin to leave the earth. And I'm going back 2 yards and 3 yards, and all I can say is, help me. 5 yards, 6 yards, boom, Big Daddy lands on me. I get up, I try to play it off like no one saw that, right? I begin to, walk back to the huddle, and I begin to hear this sound like, ooh, ooh. I looked up on that massive Jumbotron screen, and they showed me being driven back by Big Daddy about 7 times. and the entire crowd, like an orchestra, is like, ooh. All of Cincinnati Stadium is like, ooh. In fact, why don't you all help me out? Let's connect. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Come on, a little louder. 1, 2, 3. Coach is like, get him out of there. Get him out of there. I get to the sideline right before I get to the bench. Out of all the people in the stadium, who do I hear? Mama. She's like, no, not my baby. A few plays later, it's halftime. I have to make a decision. If I go back out there and have a bad game, I know I'm going to get released. I know I'm going to get cut. But midway through halftime, I realized that football's a game and football's a sport, and you make a lot of money. Well, football is not who I am. And that's very important because if you can allow a situation or circumstances or even a job to define you, then it has all power and authority over you. And that's one of the principles in the book is how to separate what you do from who you are and how you spend all your time and your energy protecting the core of who you are, your character, your values, your morals. Who are you? If you don't know who you are, you're who they say you are. And once this world system can identify you and target you and stamp you, then it has, as I mentioned, all power and authority over you because you'll always return back to your name. You can never grow past your name. I spent some time in Juneau, Alaska, right? Man, I went to one of these hatcheries, and he has like these big buildings, right? And I'm thinking like, all these little tadpoles, but they weren't tadpoles, they were salmon, right? And there's like 7 million of them. And so what they do is that they take these salmon in a boat, and this man is in like the bay, and he's driving a little circle. And I'm like, sir, is this man drunk? He said, no, he's marking the fish. I'm like, what do you mean? He said, well, what happens is that we're going to drag around for like a day or so, and the fish will get accustomed to this water, the gravitational pull, the coordinates, and then we're going to release it out into the ocean. And about 2 or 3 years later, the same salmon are going to come right back to this spot. And then we're going to drop the net, and we're going to catch them all, and then we're going to stamp it wild-caught salmon. What the heck does that have to do with what I'm talking about right now? Well, for so many years, I tried to achieve success, but I was stamped with failure. I was stamped with destruction. And that's very frustrating. I can remember standing in the second grade line, first day of school. The teacher grabs my left arm and she pulls me back into the first grade line. And all my friends were like, Sean, you failed. Sean, you're stupid. Sean, you're dumb. I'm struggling in the 5th grade. I mean, I'm really struggling by the time I'm in the 5th grade. The teacher's having some pity on me. She tested me with a psychologist and sociologist for about 3 days. And they called Mom. They're like, Mom, Ms. Harper, your son has 4 to 5 documented learning disabilities. I'm kicked out of 2 schools because of disciplinary issues. I leave high school with a 1.62 accumulative GPA, 9 on my ACT. Out of 154 seniors to graduate, my academic ranking is 154. I am dead last. There's a secret vote going around, and I am voted most likely to fail. I'm stamped. And I'm sitting there on the last day of school, and what's going through my mind, I remember it like it was yesterday, was, Sean, you will never be successful. Sean, there's no way. According to what the world says, you can't go to college, you won't get a great job, you're struggling writing papers because of your dyslexia and your rote memorization. There's no way you could be, oh, by the way, I stuttered my entire life. I could not complete a sentence till college. I'm a failure. I'm a loser. Oh, athletes? I barely started in high school football. I wasn't even honorable mention all conference. All the stuff is on the web. You can look it up now. What am I going to do? Well, I guess I'll be another stat. Because I'll never become successful. that didn't sit well with me. Because I knew that there was something greater in me. I knew that there was greatness in me, and it was moving, and it was like bursting, and I'm like, I don't know what to do with this. I know I'm supposed to play football, but football is over now. I'm supposed to give millions away. How am I going to get that working $6 minimum wage job? I made the greatest paradigm shift of my life. By the way, another ADD moment. Most wealth is created in paradigms. Most wealth is created in paradigms. Internet, 1990-91, for public use for the first time. All the companies were created and some are being destroyed. Post office. I made the switch. I might not be successful, but I can win. I understand winning. I've been playing football my entire life, and I know how to win. And I'm going to do my best to win. The next day, the phone rings. It's a junior college in Mason City, Iowa. Now, understand this. I'm from the south side of Columbus, Ohio, south of Livingston Avenue. They call it the hood or the ghetto, whatever you want to call it. I get a phone call from the cornfields of Mason City, Iowa. 26,000 blonde hair, blue eyes. Everyone's last name is Schneider, okay? I'm like, whoa. And he's like, Sean, we want you to come to Iowa to play football. I'm like, what? Yeah, come up to Mason City, Iowa to play football. My first reaction was no. I'm not going. There's no way. I'm not leaving Mama. But that dream began to speak. That seed began to speak. That wind began to speak. I heard it. Go. You see, in each and every one of you and the people who you work with, there is a dream, okay? You want to win at life? You find out what your dream is, you find out what other people's dream is. And the dream is so amazing is because you can often count the number of seeds in an orange, but you can never count the number of oranges in the seed. Your dream is the seed. And I go up to the cornfields of Mason City, Iowa, the first year. I'm going to borrow this chair here. The first year, I sit the bench the entire season. Not one play. And I pick up the phone and I call my mom. I said, Mama, I quit. I want to come home. This winning stuff is not working. I'm done. I'm done, Mom. You know, moms want to encourage you, and so I'm go back to second year, and then this is when I implemented the winning process and the winning mindset. The first thing I did, I don't know if I put this in the book or not, I forgot, is that I pulled out a sheet of paper and I wrote 200 colleges. Okay. I wrote one letter, Xeroxed it 200 times, and I signed all of them, though. And I created capacity. I said, you know what? Who knows that Sean Harper is here? You know, I actually did the numbers. I said, you know, there's about 600 offensive linemen graduating from junior college the same time I am. Okay, what are you going to do? I wrote every single recruiting coordinator in the United States of America. School started in August. I went back in May of that year, and I began to jump 2,000 skips a day. I began to practice. I said, you know, they're sitting home playing PlayStation or Atari back then, whatever they were playing. I said, I'm going to be working out, right? And then I had this crazy concept of I'm going to graduate a semester early. I'm going to create separation. I'm going to graduate a semester. I took 23 credit hours in one semester. I had night class every single day of the week just to graduate early to give me the edge over the other 400 that were graduating in that May. I'm going to come out in January, make myself that much more marketable. Get a phone call from Indiana University. Draft day in the NFL, third pick in the fourth round. And I've been blessed with opportunities after opportunities after opportunity. But, I want to share something with you, okay? I want to share something that's very important. What would have happened when I called my mama? I said, Mama, I want to come home. Mama, I quit. What would have happened if she said, baby, like a lot of moms do, baby, just come on home. Don't worry about it. What would have happened when my friends were in the dorm room and they were teasing me because I wrote my dream down, NFL, and every day I woke up, I said, NFL, that's where I'm going. Every night before I went to sleep, I took one last look. I said, NFL, that's where I'm going. And when they walked in, they began to laugh at my dream. I kicked them all out, but they spent 5 minutes teasing me, saying, Sean, you'll never make it to the NFL. You're not playing well now. There's no way. They will find you. You don't write letters. What would have happened if I would have listened to them? I'm in the 10th grade, being kicked out of one school for disciplinary issues. And I'm on the football field of a brand new coach who doesn't know me, and I'm not performing well in practice. And out of 50 players, he singles me out and he yells, Sean Harper, get off my field. And he kicks me off the team right then and there. And I go to the locker room. I throw my helmet down. I throw my shoulder pads down. I am so upset. I know when I tell my mom, she's going to be upset and she's going to write a letter. That dream speaks. Put everything back on. I walk out and the coach turns his back to me. I walk next to him. He turns his back again. Finally, he yells again. I've never heard a man yell this loud. Sean Harper, what do you want from me? I said, Coach, you can't make me quit. It's called grit. What would have happened if the coach kicked me off the team? I would have left. What would have happened when my counselor said, Sean, forget about college? And my assistant football coach said, you'll never play good football because you have a deformed right foot. What would have happened if I'd have listened to him? You see, there's something greater than success, and that's winning. And winning takes faith. And winning takes unwavering faith, and it takes belief. It takes forgetting about the past and pressing towards the future. If you live in the past, you'll die in the present. Play to win. The amount of resistance that I'm going to talk about in a couple seconds, and the all-in, and the build your team, and the vision. I was asked to go over some of the chapters in the book, and I am right now. One of the first things I had to deal with, as I mentioned earlier, is the dream. Outside of, please don't be offended, but outside of love and God, there's nothing more powerful than the dream. The dream transcends time. Dreams transcend all socioeconomic settings. Dreams transcend reality. Dreams are more powerful than all the laws of the universe. Dreams are either for you or pass through you, but they never should be all about you. And the dream is what I carried since the first grade of one day playing professional football. And the dream is so powerful because the dream doesn't depend on creation or creating. It depends on what's called manifestation or manifesting. The dream is never discourage people when they have a dream. Stop that. There's nothing more powerful than the dream. There was nothing around me that validated the dream that was in me. I was sitting on the bench, but I made a decision to focus on my dream versus focus on the naysayers. And I used that energy, and I began to manifest all opportunities in my life. Never starting in high school football, barely starting. to playing in the National Football League. 0.02% of all athletes make it to the NFL for 1 year. Help me out. Group participation. Everyone say dream. Say it louder. Say dream. Knowing who you are. Oh, man. The amount of resistance, and I'll talk about that in a second. The amount of resistance I went up against of pursuing my dream was earth-shaking. I had resistance from just about everyone around me. And so I had to practice every day affirming who I am. This is very important, and particularly in sales. Because if you walk into a sales presentation or if you walk into a situation and your confidence is not where it needs to be, people can feel that. People can sniff that out. And so I had to practice every single day. Sean, you're not a failure. Sean, you are a world changer. Sean, you're not a loser. Sean, you're a dominator. Everyone has spoken all these negative words over my life, and what I had to do is erase them all, and I had to write down who I am. I'm a world changer. I'm a child of God. I'm a leader. Leaders always look to what they're going to and not what they're going through. This entire world operational system is predicated off of programming who you are, and it voids your identity, and it creates what's called an image. The world is scared of people who have an identity. And so they strip you of your identity, hoping that you'll create what's called an image. Now they have power over you because all you are concerned about is your image. And you'll spend so much time and money and energy maintaining your image versus your identity. One is internal, the other one is external. So I had to protect my identity. I had to erase the markings so I'll never return back to failure. Vision. Say vision. Say it louder. Say vision. Most people see to believe. Visionaries believe to see. You want to know why offensive linemen play the game? Who all likes football? Raise your hand. All right, put your hand down. Who all really understands football? Raise your hand. All right, put your hand down. Who all has a favorite player on the football team? Raise your hand. All right, check it out. I will go to the ATM machine and I'll pull out $100 if someone in here can name me the 5 starting offensive linemen of their favorite team. He's defense. We're on the same field at the same time. We're blocking the same. You're watching the game. So what keeps offensive linemen going? It's vision. All we're focused on is the end zone. One play at a time. Whether we get 2 yards or 10 yards or 8 yards, all we're sniffing is the end zone. This is very important because I've dealt with people in poverty and I've dealt with people who are very affluent. And one of the things I've noticed is that the people who are in poverty, they have a real short vision, or the vision is real constricted to day. People who are extremely affluent, they not only have their life taken care of, they have trust and everything set up for their kids and their kids' kids. Their vision is way out there. Their vision is generational. Man, I've met this guy, and his job, he's in charge of the family bank. They got a family bank. I'm like, what in the world is that? They got millions in a bank that these kids come through and they buy property, and it's been in a home for years and generations. It's a bank. How is this applicable to you? Is that life has a way of chipping away to where your vision becomes constricted, to where you're just trying to make it through the day. You're just trying to make it to retirement. You're just trying to get through this or to get to the next vacation. Oh, that's dangerous. Not only for you, but for your clients. So I want to challenge you. I want to double dog dare each and every one of you. Take out a sheet of paper sometime this week. Write out that vision. You see, when you win, man, it's what makes winning so attractive to this group right here is because when you are born, that's when you start the game. When you die, that's when you win or you lose. 90% of the people are dead broke by the time they're 65 years of age, depending on the government. That's not a winning strategy. It's a success strategy, but it's not a winning strategy. And the world teaches success, but vision teaches winning. On my deathbed, God willing, my family's line will be taken care of. Hidden from taxes, whatever I have to do. Shell companies, whatever. And that's winning. It's not about production, it's about reproduction. Build a team. Everyone say, build a team. Build a team. Say it louder, build a team. Build a team. This is not in the book. Building a team. This is where I'm at right now. You know that 80% of all NFL football players are broke 2 years after they retire? Did you know that? How is it that an overperforming, elite, physical, mental warrior can be so successful on that platform and not successful outside of football? How could entertainers be so successful on the stage and not successful in life? It's because when you leave the football field, you leave your team. And success is built within the team. And so I've discovered that there's about 4 or 5 things you need to have a successful team. And honestly, I blew this away. I kind of blew it off because I'm like, I'm successful, I'm doing this, I'm blah, blah, this. I don't need a team. Till I heard Anthony Robbins talk about how he meets with his mentors weekly. I'm like, okay. So the first thing you need to have a team is that you have to have your mentor. And a good mentor is a tormentor. The second thing you need to have a successful team is that you have to have a coach. It's different. See, the mentor pulls you, the coach pushes you. The third thing you need, that you have to have your teammates. You have to have healthy competition. You have to have that. And the last thing you need for a successful team is you have to have your cheerleader. You have to have somebody who believes in you, someone who wants to encourage you, someone who wants to push you. This is why athletes, as much as we don't like them, we have entourages. Think about that. No, we have groupies. Stars have entourages. Politicians have entourages because they keep the negative news away and they're always feeding them positive information. So the 4 things I mentioned right now is that I'm encouraging each and every one of you to develop and to make it to the next level. I just hired a financial coach unlike any other. This financial coach is a financial guru and a coach. So I meet with him once a week at breakfast that I have to pay for, and he sits down and he goes through my financial statement line by line, every item. If there's so much a Snickers bar on that bad boy, I'm getting ripped, okay? 330-pound offensive lineman. And this guy's sitting there, he is ripping me to shreds. And then he pulls up, well, this stock, and what's this guy? You smacking me? I'm like, I mean, you talk to me like that? Hey, he's coach. He's financial guy. He's my coach. Because I want to get to a certain level within 10 years. And the last thing that I want to talk about before I answer questions, because I want to answer questions. And I don't think I've ever shared this with anyone, but I'm going to share it with you today. Is that it doesn't come to you if it can't get through you. What I mean by that is my father left us when I was about 3 years old. And my mom, living on the south side of Columbus, had no way to make ends meet. She was scrubbing floors in a suburb called Bexley. And she prayed, how is she going to raise 6 kids and keep them out of trouble? And I won't tell you the full story of how it came about, but my mom was encouraged to give $20 a month to World Vision. And she would sow $20 a month in the 70s into this mission to feed the poor or to help people. And do you know, she raised all 6 of us, sent the majority of us to college. We had the best Christmases. People going to jail all around us, nothing ever happened to us. She tapped into a spiritual law of sowing and reaping. She tapped into a spiritual law of return. And I can't believe I'm sharing this with you right now, but something's telling me to share it, so I'm going to share it. It doesn't come to you if it can't get through you. And I want to encourage each and every one of you to give back. And I think that we're going to have an opportunity later on today. That is so important. To give and to plant seeds and to encourage and to share financially with people who are less fortunate. And to encourage your clients to do the same. That is our charge. And that has changed my entire life. Understand this, I picked up that habit soon after college. And I've been in business since July of 2004 when businesses go out of business. The average company goes out of business within 5 years. I've been in business since 2004. Have an amazing home, an amazing marriage, been married for over 19 years. It doesn't come to you if it can't get through you. Give, sow, invest. I have a phone book here with me. Because I love to rip things. I have a disposition, right? I love to destroy stuff, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this book and I'm going to rip this bad boy right down the middle in like 3 seconds. It's a real book. But I want this book to represent the playbook that's out there right now that is causing a lot of pain, a lot of sadness and hopelessness in life. And I'm going to rip this book in like 3 seconds. And you're going to encourage me. And you're going to say, rip the script. Okay? You're going to get behind me. You're going to encourage me. You're going to yell, Jedi mind trick. Right? And you're going to support me in this. And then after that, I'll open up the floor for questions. If you have any questions, but I have to warn you, I'm not the PC type of speaker. So if you have any questions, I'm going to give you my heart, okay? I'm going to give you my truth, all right? Give me a countdown from 5 to 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rip the script. Rip the louder. Rip the script. 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 Ah, there it is. Any questions at all? I don't care what it's about. You can ask me. I'm an open book. Are there any questions? Hold on, put my glasses on so I can see. I can't see no more. Are there any questions? Yes?
Who's your favorite player right now in the NFL?
Well, I'm biased because I live in Columbus. So I like Ezekiel Elliott. I think he's a quick and he's a ruthless running back. I like that. So I would say Ezekiel Elliott. I'm not a huge NFL guy anymore because of all the politics involved in the game. I still love college because there's an ounce of purity left, and guys are just playing because they love the sport, and I can really get into that.
Football player should experience a lot of injuries. How do you feel?
Pain is a part of the process. Like I don't have any ligaments in my thumbs, and I'm an offensive lineman, so we're in the trenches. Notice the referees and the umpire doesn't even go in the trenches. The camera doesn't show the trench because it's hand-to-hand combat. But yeah, I've sprung my knee, I broke a bone in my foot. You don't think about the pain. You tell the trainer's a professional, he'll look at it, and then if it's not debilitating, you tape it up and you go to war. You worry about that after the game, and unfortunately a lot of players are now reeling the side effects of the game. I got friends who take 45 minutes just to get out of bed, who's on their second and third epidural, and I got a guy who's 80% disabled. He played for the Steelers. He was a fullback, 80% disabled right now. That's very unfortunate. But your mindset, it's just like, I guess I can liken it to combat. You don't think about it. Yes?
How do you use those lines work?
So I started speaking. It really hit me. I was in sociology class at IU, and between classes, this young lady walks up to me. She says, "Sean, have you ever noticed how people look at you when you speak?" I'm like, "No." She said, "Pay attention next time." And so I'm in the class on Thursday, sociology, S210, and I started speaking, and people are looking at me. I'm like, wow, okay. And then as I played football, they would ask athletes to speak on the off season or on our days off. And I'm thinking that once I'm done, that retired, that the opportunity would go away, and the opposite happened. So that's just, I just morphed into it, and I love it. Go for it.
Or anybody give you a roll out of it or staying better?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I had a crazy quarterback with the Colts. Man, this guy was crazy. But he was a winner. And for the life of me, I don't know how it's not transferring to his current team he's coaching. But Jim Harbaugh, he purchased us Rolex Submariners. Jim Everett, back with the Rams, would purchase. Select linemen would get cars, automobiles. We would get a lot of perks. I'll just say that. A lot of unique perks that, because we don't get accolades. We don't get thank yous. But from the ones that know the game, oh yeah, we would, yeah, definitely. So yeah, I got the. Dan Marino, I think he's a very underappreciated quarterback Because he has done a lot. But we judge success by the amount of Super Bowls you've won and things like that. But man, he's an awesome guy. Any other questions at all? Go ahead.
More of a compliment. Your story's inspiring. It sounds to me like if you willed it to happen, you could have taken a path in life and people around you could have allowed you to take that path. Yet you went a different, more successful path. It wasn't handed to you. It reminds me a little bit about, I had to pull it up, I don't remember exactly what his name was, but Dr. Joe Dispenza. He writes books about, one of the taglines is how to lose your mind and create a new one. And it sounds like that's kind of along the lines of what you've done. You willed it to happen.
Yeah, you want to know what the secret to that is? One of the secrets is not being civilized. When you really break down what the term civilized and what that's really about, is that you are brought under the control of people and norms. See, my mantra is that I need to be my best. The world system's mantra is you need to have excellence. Excellence would be I would have a portfolio, and I would have my Alan Edmond shoes on, and that's excellence. And so we hide behind excellence without achieving our best. And the world is like a cattle trail. It's like, no, you got to do this way, you got to do that way, and you have to say this, and you have to say that, and you have to work in these circles, and you have to network in this, and think about all the rules they tell you. This is what you have to do, and when you retire, what? And people follow all the rules all their entire life because they want to be civilized, and they don't win. They don't win. And I looked at that long ago. I'm like, you know what? The route I'm going to take, the route I'm taking today is an uncivilized route. Even challenges right now with real estate opportunities, setting up the companies and holding companies over top of this company and that. That is unconventional thinking. I'm like, yeah, you got to get radical because the true secrets and the true way to win in this world is not taught to you until you go get specialized education and you sit down and you talk to a real person a real investor, a real taxes. Like, no, this is how you work the game. So I had to think that, I'm looking in the future. I'm like, you know what? If I'm going to win, I have to become uncivilized, unconventional. And I have to find unique ways to create, to actually create opportunities. I have a double degree from IU Bloomington with postgraduate studies, and I had a 1.62 ACUM out of high school. When I first went to IU, I was scared. I had to get unconventional. The SBA, 90% of all businesses fail within the first 95% of all businesses fail within the first 5 years. I got to get unconventional if I'm going to survive. And so I've learned to become uncivilized and to embrace rejection. Sorry. Go ahead.
You had mentioned that the idea of getting a team.
Yeah.
Could you repeat the members for those teams?
You have to have your coach. Your coach is someone who's not impressed with you. Like, I got a financial coach I mentioned earlier. He's not impressed. He's like, I don't care. I don't care. You have to have, because the coach is going to push you past your capacity. Okay? You have to have your cheerleader. You have to have somebody who believes in you. You have to have that. It is tough out there. You have to have your mentor. Your mentor pulls you. You look at him or her, he's like, that's where I want to go. And they'll share with things along the trail. Okay, so you have your coach, you have your teacher, you have your mentor, and you have your teammates. got to have your teammates. And there was one more I meant, I forgot about that. But yes, you have to have people around you that you can kind of, rub up against, go to war with. You have to have that. You have to have that resistance. We as a society, we are afraid of resistance. You have to have resistance.
Is your mother still living, and has she written any books? Because I need to
You
know
know,
books.
Edith,
Thanks, kids. Oh, that was amazing.
yeah, then halfway through the process, she adopted one. That's 7. She adopted a,
Did she write any books?
no, but I'm gonna
You need to encourage her to write that book.
I'm gonna talk to Edith Narita Barksdale that she needs to write a book. She currently owns a daycare center in her house right now, 80 years old, and she's watching all these kids, right? It's crazy. I got a couple more questions.
I was going to ask you who you're rooting for this weekend, IU, Ohio State. I'm going to the game, so I just want to know who you're rooting for. It's a tough one.
How should I say this? Oh yeah, I'm 15 minutes from the stadium.
I'll be there. You want to hang out?
All right. Here's my answer. I love Ohio State, but Indiana has my heart. And Indiana will always, always have my heart. And I know everything about Ohio State football. Monday, I turn into the greatest critic of Ohio State. And I have ripped Ohio State on my Facebook post. I have ripped them, and I've done that every year. I do this until the game is 0-0-0, and then I go back to being an Ohio State fan. I will never root against my Hoosiers, ever.
Good to hear.
Yeah. Any more questions? Yes.
What's your favorite Columbus restaurant, and who is the best athlete you've ever seen?
Who's the what now?
The best athlete you've ever seen?
Me? I'm just joking. Favorite Columbus restaurant? I have weird taste, right? But there's two. There's a restaurant. It's off the radar. It's in Columbus. It's in German Village called Barcelona. I love to go to Barcelona's restaurant. And then there's a restaurant chain of comfort food started out of Cincinnati. They have one in Columbus now. It's called the Eagle Short North. And it is amazing food. The best athlete that I've ever seen was a guy, well, there's 2 of them. But I'll just mention Quentin Coriat. He was 6'3", 6'2", 6'3", 265-pound outside linebacker / defensive end who ran like a 4.4 40. And I don't know if you know what it's like to be bull rushed by someone weighing 265 pounds running at you at the speed of a bullet, like run right through you and snatch your soul. But yet, to me, that was the best shredded, like 6-7% body. It would be him. It's him. Yes, ma'am. You know what? I have one son, and my boy, his name is Caleb the World Changer, and he's playing football right now for a school up in Worthington called Worthington Christian, and he's a defensive end. He's 6'5", 200 pounds. He's awesome, and he's just everything is a teachable moment. I'm like, you dropped your candy bar, son, sit down right now. Let me explain to you about dropping things in life. I'm just like, you can't do that. You can't do that. It's just like, I'm trying to teach him currency. So I'm just pouring into my boy because I know one day I'm not going to be there. And so I love him. And my queen, we went to junior high school together. I was all D's and F's. She was straight A. Cried when she got her first B. I I graduated last in my class in academics. She was valedictorian. Same year, same class. She went to Ohio State business. I went to IU. So yeah, that's my family. Any other questions? Go ahead.
Who did you hate facing besides Big Daddy?
Ooh. So there's a guy, well, fortunately, the guy I hated the most played on my team. But I had to face him in practice every day. He was big. His name was Tony Saragusa. The Goose. Oh, man, he was ruthless. But outside of my team, there was a guy named Chester McLaughlin. And then there was this crazy linebacker from Miami named Brian Cox. Oh, him and Kurt Loudermilk used to have, they had battles. Blood. I mean, they would just go to war in the trenches, broken fingers, noses. But Brian Cox and Kurt Loudermilk, it was so bad one game, off the record. After the game, I believe Brian was waiting for Kurt. Like, we're going to finish this. I'm like, look, millionaires, the game is over right now. Get on the bus. Like, no, we're going to finish this right now. You guys are awesome. Any other questions? Going once, going twice. I'll be around for the rest of the day. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Jeff.